and welcome everyone. I am Paige Hanson. I am originally from Iowa, Jefferson, Iowa, about 3 hours away. So it's so cool to be here. I now live in Arizona, so in the Phoenix area, and have for about 18 years. And it's wonderful to be back in the Midwest and need a coat. Because I don't know if you guys are tracking Arizona weather, but we're still in the 110s, and I'm not here for it. It's October. Well, I appreciate the opportunity to speak today. It is a passion of mine to really talk about the education just on cyber and the threat landscape. So not only to technical individuals like yourself who are interested in cybersecurity, but then kids, school-age kids, all the way to seniors, businesses, because guess what? We are in this industry. We might have a different radar or a different view than maybe our parents, our friends, family members, people we go to church with, our civic group. And so we also have to have nuggets to be able to talk about in conversation, bring up the latest scams. And so that's the point of this presentation is, one, here are the cyber threats. Here's where they've evolved. We all know scams are pretty much the same, right? They just this minor little tweak to them, and they evolve. And so we'll start talking about AI, and then, what's next? What's on the horizon? If you've seen any of these before, call or raise your hand. I'd love to know what you have experienced as well. So number one, I don't know where you get your news about cyber, but usually it's going to be a number of reputable Twitter feeds, maybe different Times or wherever. I'm sure you have a number of places to get it. One of my kind of guilty pleasures every morning is Daily Mail. Anybody familiar with Daily Mail? It's basically like the people.com of the UK. And so you hear celebrity gossip, and it's like, so on to everything. Everybody has a guilty pleasure. Fine, you're putting mine in Daily Mail. Okay, cool. Doritos, bags, okay. Well, I've noticed a trend. First, it's all about celebrity gossip, and now they're weaving in even talks of cybercrime. So the rise of cyber kidnapping, sugar daddy scammers, 4 signs you've been hacked. A woman suffers deep fake horror. We're going to talk about this because she posted a selfie, and then all of a sudden on her, she has a bunch of images that look like they're nude. This is making the inboxes of people that aren't necessarily thinking about cyber. So as much as I don't love that these topics are making this news cycle, but I am though, because now it's becoming more top of mind. Yes, cool, Taylor and Travis are together, but also you could be scammed. This is just intermingling some additional education. And then also, celebrities themselves are being impersonated. Bad Bunny had an entire album released that was produced not by him, but AI. Andy Cohen, the beloved Bravo star, creator of half the shows I watch, he was also scammed. Kevin Costner, Yellowstone fans around here? Okay, Kevin Costner. Russell, there's a deep home scam fix. Even a football player, he was scammed out of millions of dollars. Then there's Taylor. They even touched Taylor. And this serving this happened to be, she was selling some ceramics. What I'm getting at is that even me, you, celebrities, our grandma, mom, dad, friend, everyone could be vulnerable to certain scams. And just because you're famous, that does not mean you're not. So let's talk about the evolving threat landscape. So my history, right now, I've started my own company. It's called SecureLabs. We do compliance. But my history is around the education of law enforcement. For 11 years, I went across the United States, went into law enforcement agencies, talking about identity theft, what to look for, how to help victims. Here's how you investigate the crime, and then here's some additional resources. These old school methods, I had my leadership team at Norton Life back in the day there say, you really shouldn't talk about that talk. We really should be talking about the advanced crimes of law enforcement. Do you know what the feedback from law enforcement was? No, this is actually what we're seeing. Mail fraud. People changing mailing addresses. Skimmers. Check washing. Check fraud in general. So you still have to keep these old school methods in, and this is why I'm including them in this presentation, sure you're going to the post office to send that outgoing mail. But, okay, I was visiting my friend in Michigan this summer. New housing development. Super convenient for the mail folks. And who else? I go to the Ozarks every summer. Same thing. It's the setup, although it does not look that nice. Ozarks is different. Sorry, Missouri. Okay. And then there's this. This is actually my mailbox. This is my mailbox. Me and 16 of my neighbors. This is a locked mailbox. This should be super safe, right? I got a key to get in this bad boy. Okay, they're even targeting that. I bring this up. Why do I bring this up? Hey, this is old school. This is happening. This picture was taken by my former coworker last year in Southern California. This is last year. There's also this super handy sticker. They just put this on here within this past year. Report mail theft, tampering. This is still happening. Has anybody mailed anything from those blue mailboxes lately? Do you notice that the slit to get your mail in there is very thin now? Did you know that criminals take a water bottle and sticky material on the water bottle? They put it into the blue mailbox. They take it out. It's called, they're fishing because you're sending out some things, checks, gift cards, cash, money, whatever. So they've now made it a kind of their crime prevention technique is to make it smaller. So there's that. Then there's the home or vehicle burglary. Think about your own house. You invite me, we just met, we kicked it off, yeah, great. You invited me into your home. You leave me because you got to go switch the load of laundry. Just think about your own house right now. I'm at your kitchen table. Anything that I could get my hands on in the 2 minutes you're gone? Not Heather's house. I'm going to find it. I've got to go to the bathroom. Yeah, no, usually people are saying, I have a stack of mail. Oh, I haven't yet filed, I filed my tax return and I still have it sitting there. I've got a safe, but you know what's really pain? To lock the safe and then unlock the safe, but I need to stuff into the safe. So then you end up leaving it open. So those are the sort of things I want you to think about when you have somebody over to your house, and I do this post every major holiday. You're having people over to your house, put your purse away, put your wallet away, put your checkbook away, put all of that in a different place. You think you trust and love your people, right? You trust and love your people, but in hard times, a lot of people do things that aren't usually the characteristic of what we think about them. Then there is the theft or wallet or purse. Okay, your wallet is somewhere, your purse is somewhere, so people usually say, no, it's on my person. They're not going to steal it. So what happened when last Friday I go to a networking breakfast, and what do all the ladies do? Yeah. Okay, do you know, my family member last year went to a conference with all of her colleagues. They all were sitting at one of these round tables. Some of them may have had their purses like this. Every single one of them, when they left the conference, had their credit cards and all of their cards taken out of their person wallet. Their person wallet is there, but their credit cards were all taken. They still, to this day, they're like, but we sat there the whole time. At one point, they weren't. So this is just the awareness stuff that we want to just keep top of mind. Same with shoulder surfing. Okay, not to be too weird, but I love shoulder surfing. Well, you're doing things. Somebody's checking in. Well, I happen to be a ticket holder in the spring training hub in Mesa, Arizona. It's amazing. But the guy, this crazy, was driving me bonkers from a cyber safety perspective. Because our friend here was on this phone, on the Wi-Fi at the Cubs Stadium. He was selling something on an eBay, but it's for gift cards. He didn't know his username and password, and he hasn't linked his bank account to it yet. So he was going to his plain text notes with all his passwords, and the font was extra big. I could see everything. Copy, paste, go, and then he linked he had his routing number, bank account number, username, password for his bank. Everything in clear, I could see everything. So I took a picture. I could have zoomed in. I'm not going to, but I was getting kind of antsy. I was just, my husband must have known. He goes, it's that guy, isn't it? I'm like, yes! See, even he noticed too. So, whether he wants to admit it or not, he noticed that I was just getting a little antsy. And then there's check washing. People still write checks. I follow a lot of money laundering people on my LinkedIn, and one of the posts that one of the Anna Cox is somebody I follow, but she does a ton around checks. She said this is the #1 fraud loss in a lot of financial institutions is still checks. You know where the majority of wealth is? Older adults. Older adults are not adding their Bitcoin to their wallet, and no, they're writing checks for the services that they get. So this is checks a little bit dated, but it's been a while since I've gotten a check. My cousin wrote me a check. She's repaying me because eventually we go to the Ozarks. She was repaying me for my share of, or her share of the house, and writes me a check. Cool. Well, tell me what household item can lift the ink from nail polish remover because it has acetone. So I washed the check. Of course, after I deposited it, I didn't try to rewrite it. There's no criminal activity happening, but just to show you the ink, this is in 10 seconds. So, okay, so you're sitting here, cool Paige, but I don't write checks. None of my family members write checks. But what do you sign official documents? They're still maybe closing on a house. Maybe not everything is DocuSign yet. So think about that. Gel ink. Gel ink is our friend. And no, you don't have to buy some super fancy anti-check washing pen that has gel. No. Amazon, 12-pack, $3. Perfect. Okay. Then let's evolve. That's the old school methods. Now we have smishing. I'm sure you guys get these tech. I'm going to go over these pretty quickly. You guys have got these, right? You probably have all gotten one today. This one, oh, Wells Fargo Bank. No, not going to happen. Oh, guys, the criminal division of the IRS is texting me. They're calling me and they're emailing me. I'm very popular. They're actually going to send somebody to break down my door because I haven't paid my taxes. Okay? No, not happening. Then we have USPS. This is a big one, and people fall for it because they are expecting mail every single day. They don't want their mail to go to somebody else's hands, so they click on the link. Then there's this one. They've changed their tactics. Now they're going to pull on my heartstrings of maybe not having somebody that I'm supposed to have in my phone, and they say, hello, long time no see, how are you today? I don't know. But then after that, I feel like you don't want to talk to me, you never responded. So then they're like, they're trying to get me double, right? So that was a week later, they had said that. Then there's this one. Have you guys gotten these? Now, I do not encourage you to reply, because even though it's fine.
Got one today.
Oh, no, let's see, hello.
Yeah.
Number. You look like me. Yeah, okay, well, that's a different discussion. So I, just for shits and giggles, I was like, I have a presentation, I'll say who this. So I did. Okay, what do we think we got? Oh, I'm Anna. Isn't this Mr. James? And by the way, I'm going to send a picture of my beautiful self, just in case you didn't remember me. Well, likely that is AI generated, right? But the whole point is that these sort of texts are coming, and they're trying all of these different angles. It's no longer, the first one was Wells Fargo, and the second one was the IRS and the USPS. They're now impersonating people, smaller banks. My brother is a pastor. They are impersonating him. He is a congregation of 200. Then you think, oh, they're safe. No. Small businesses, large businesses, all of them now can easily be impersonated. But here's the deal. What happens when we get in it's a legit text of a legit service for an update? USPS actually could be texting us. Target is texting me that my order is ready. Ulta is texting me because my pickup order is ready. In this case, NextCare Urgent Care, which I tried to chop my finger off, do not use one of those slicer things like this without having the proper gloves or using the right equipment. So I went to Urgent Care, did not cut off my finger. I have to report I can still use biometrics on my left hand. Great. But instead, it's that whole convenience versus security. Super convenient to click on this link, but instead what I did is I went to NextCare Urgent Care website, logged in, did my invoice number, then I saw my statement and I paid my statement. It's very easy for me to click this link, but I'm not going to. So those are the sort of steps that we want to encourage not only yourself to take, but then others to take. That extra little step could save you from going to a fake website, getting malware on your device, whatever the kind of the skill set of the person who set it up. So just remember that, convenience versus security. Then there's spoofing and phishing. So you guys have heard of this, right? The spoofing. It's one thing if it's some weird number and it says possible junk, or it gets vetoed by my junk filter and I don't ever see it. But my dad is calling me. I'm going to answer. My doctor's office is calling me. I'm going to answer. So when my me and there's a siren in the background and it says something's wrong and I need to come to the hospital right away. Or my doctor says, we have trouble processing your insurance information. We need you to resubmit that and give that to us. One, they're initiating the call. That should be a red flag for me. But in the event of kind of an emergency situation, generally that's not the first thing you're thinking. You're thinking, my dad is hurt. My medical information is not processing. I'm a good person. I'm going to pay my bills. So really, you don't want to provide the information to someone who is initiating the call. Hang up, call them back. And then have a family, you've probably heard this, right? Have a family code, some sort of passphrase, something with your family members. So you don't take, something's wrong and you have to say, okay, what did we eat for dinner last night? Or what's the family code? And that's going to help. So I'm talking to my aunt about, I'm staying in Bettendorf at my aunt and uncle's house, which is awesome, because I don't get to spend a lot of one-on-one time with them. So my aunt was telling me about a few scams, and I was telling her about spoofing and phishing. And she goes, but no. I go, what happens? So it's Diane and Wayne. What happens, Diane, when Wayne calls you and it comes up as Wayne? Well, how would they do that? How do they have his number? Okay, well, let me show you. So I used, we'll talk about virtual kidnapping here shortly. So I used something called, there's thousands of these websites, spoofcard.com. They even have a mobile app. Sweet, right? Okay, I used spoofcard.com. I typed in her number. I typed in my Uncle Wayne's number. Placed the call from my device. She saw me do it all. Comes up as my Uncle Wayne calling her. And I added background effects. Siren. Something happened. And then we just talked about it. Let's walk you through it. What would happen if you got a call from Wayne, who, by the way, is a farmer, who is out and about, and now you got a call with police sirens. And I say, oh, I'm actually Officer so-and-so. I have Wayne's phone. Something is wrong. Submit this information or come to this hospital. Sometimes the end game is not financial gain. It's just really direct cause havoc in somebody's life, and they're going to the hospital and nothing's happened. I know, Jonathan, we were talking. You work for a hospital, and you have this happening, people impersonating your hospital, right? So is it similar where it looks like it's coming from the hospital, or maybe even not, and it's happening, and you've got to field those calls or kind of calm these people down that are coming in complete panic, thinking what their loved one is happening. So I do not encourage you to do this with fraud in mind, but if you like to play pranks, this is not a good way to do it. Okay. Then there's phishing. Gosh, if we have to holler about phishing over and over, you guys, it works. Do you know what fraudsters are doing? Phishing. Do you know what works? Phishing. They get better and better, and we'll get into AI, but they keep getting better and better and better because they are using AI. So really, if your organization has a way to report those, make sure you're doing that. If it's your personal email, you can. Like Amazon has an entire fraud help center. You can forward the email if you want. But just do not click any of the links. That's not even a fun game to play. You should really know what you're doing and delete them. Just bye. See you later. But then where it gets tricky is spear phishing. You've probably heard of this. Business email compromise, BEC. Whaling, CEO fraud. And what this is okay. Picking on Jonathan. Oh, I'm going to pick on Heather now. Heather gets an email from her institute director. And says, hey, you got a group of students that need to have dinner tonight. We're working with them. Can you go out and get Papa John's gift card and send them my way? And you would be like, weird, but yeah, I know funding is weird right now, but okay, sure. Heather would call that first, right? But you can imagine if you get in a position of authority, you get a request in this that says, hey, do this. And oftentimes, especially with spear phishing, what do we do? What did I do yesterday? I posted on LinkedIn that I was at the Pickle Summit and at CornCon and having a great time, and I had my cool pink shoes, and I posted it, and I was, yeah, this is great. So anybody could go on my LinkedIn, see who I was connected to. If I had an assistant that said, I am the Paige Hanson at SecureLabs, and they couldn't say, hey, I'm stuck in Iowa and lost in the corn. Can you help me do this, blah, 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 blah. It's so easy because we are posting where we're at and what we're doing. So if you're thinking, there's no way my team would fall for this, it doesn't hurt to test. Talk about it. Train about it. Keep that conversation going because it's exactly what they're doing. All right, QR codes. Anybody scan a QR code today?
Yeah.
Okay. See the QR code right here? There's a QR code right there. There's probably a QR code on every single thing, right? Okay, I just talked about that networking breakfast. Last Friday, I was there. 18 QR codes. There was vendors, there was speakers, there was literature at my table. I counted 18 QR codes. Here's one of them. One, you want to connect with me on LinkedIn? Here's an easy way to do it. You know how many people I've scanned? I think I did it to you, Rich. I scanned or no, maybe not you, but somebody else. Just scanned your QR code. Cool. On the menu, see that bottom little corner there? If I want to learn more about this menu and who to contact via catering, QR code. Six-Figure Chicks, if I want to learn more about this book, QR code. Feedback for our presenter, QR code. We are desensitized to saying, okay, QR code, super easy. Instead of telling you this super long link or maybe you fat finger it and you get to the wrong place, I'm going to send you a QR code, which is super handy. It's convenient. But what is that usually not in line with? Sometimes it's not secure. Let me give you an example. Well, one, QR code scams, according to the FBI, reported $150 million in losses this past year. So that's in 2023. So Long Beach, or the California area, is this in your area? Is this in Rich? Redondo Beach? So their parking meters had a QR code for convenience to go pay for your parking. But what ended up happening is somebody came along, put stickers over the QR code, led them to a different site, looks like it was paying for parking, and then now you had hundreds of people with their credit cards that were compromised. Also to note, this is over a weekend. How much urgent stuff, how much stuff happens over a weekend that you have to deal with then on Monday? So, it made it go even longer until they figure it out. This is happening all over. Menus, this is during COVID, it's like, oh, we don't have menus anymore, we've got to scan the QR code. So here's what I have to say about QR codes, is think about when you have to assess your own risk. Those menus are in the hands of hundreds of people. There could be big possibilities that somebody could stick something on it. That standalone pay for my parking at a beach, anybody could access that. If I was like a real shyster, yeah, I could put one of these on here, or Walter, he probably put these together, he could have done it. But the probability of that happening is probably very low. So you kind of have to assess your own risk there on QR codes, but if in doubt, find a different way, go to a browser. But then there's brushing. You guys heard this? You guys heard this yet? So, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. You guys, we forget that sometimes. Well, people are getting merchandise via usually Amazon, and it's free. There's nothing, they don't know who it's from, but there's a note in there that's similar to this where it says, scan to see your surprise sender. Oh my goodness, somebody thought of me, it was my birthday, or just somebody thought of me. So here they are getting a fanny pack or candle or whatever they just received, and what do? Scan the QR code. Where does it go? Sometimes nowhere. What does it might install? Malware or some sort of scan or something onto your device. You might have to click yes, but it also be fast with downloading something, but really it's like, are you sure you want to see? And you click yes, but it's really downloading something on your device. Now you might have spyware or some sort of malicious software on your device. So now I'm seeing more and more news stories about brushing scams, which actually really stinks because if you do get a gift, you guys all received, I at least hope so, you've received a gift on Amazon. You scan the QR code, you scan it to see who the actual sender is. So again, we're desensitized because we're like, yeah, this is normally what we do, but in this case, this is the term brushing, is what this is called. Then there's ransomware. So ransomware is more brutal than ever in 2024, a lot of reports will say. It's increased, and what the new angle is, the FBI does not suggest paying the ransom. But of course, when I was at the CISO Summit yesterday, it was like, talked a little bit about that, and you have to disguise as a team. And, there's an incident response plan that you have, and if your incident response plan says maybe we pay by a certain level, then maybe we do. I don't know. So that's an internal decision. But you can see that there's a new angle. Now a lot of people have what's called cyber risk insurance. It may have a policy for $1 million. Do you know what the fraudsters are going in and they're understanding that? Maybe there was a breach, the insurance place had a breach, or maybe you posted somewhere, they find out this information. And now they're doing their demands based off of the cyber insurance policy limits because, one, they know you'll pay, and then maybe it's right under the limit, or right over the limit. So there's, you as a business, you have to make a decision. Do we pay it? Do we not? Is this even part of our cyber risk insurance? But they're just using that information just to decide how much they're going to ask for. Then there's the double dip. You guys heard about this? Because the FBI says, do not pay these ransoms, and you've got business that are saying no, 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 well, the fraudsters are now going to your clients and saying, so-and-so had a breach over here. I have all this information on you. You pay me XYZ amount if you want me to delete your information. And so if the business isn't going to pay, or maybe they did, they're now also going to your clients and asking for that same number. So it's kind of a shift on their whole way that they're doing it because they're connecting with the people that have also been victimized as well with their data. Really, you just have to plan for the worst with ransomware. So the idea is, and I have a little screenshot here, is I do videos, educational videos with Jim Stickley. He's a cybersecurity expert. We usually do post them weekly on LinkedIn, but one of them was talking about the double dipping on ransomware. And the real idea is here, just make sure you have layers within your organization. Maybe somebody does click on that link, but where are they going to go? Maybe you have the right defense set up where they're not getting anywhere. Maybe they did click on the link, but then there's so many other things that are set up, so they're not able to get into the client database. You know, there's access controls with that, limiting the access to critical data to the right people who actually need it. Solid backups, and then of course incident response plan, but then test your incident response plan. You can't just have your incident response plan. You have to then test it. Tabletop exercises. There's actually, tomorrow at 4 o'clock, somebody that's going to be talking about, what's his name, Walter, doing the tabletop exercise?
That would be Barry Zutka.
Barry. So tomorrow at 4 o'clock, if you're interested in tabletop exercises, that would be a good one to go to. Let me pause there before we go to AI attacks and see what questions you guys have, or if you want to chit-chat.
I got a microphone pass if anyone needs to.
Anybody? Yes,
Don't
Heather.
project, I have a microphone.
Yes, Heather.
You're going to have to get skinnier.
Don't talk to Rich like that.
I'm going to have to get skinnier.
We had one, and during COVID, where we paid by check somewhere, and a woman affixed her name and opened an account with my husband's name and started writing checks. So somebody had seen one of our checks and did this, and she was untouchable because she lived at a domestic violence shelter and they would not confirm that she was there. It was a really good, well-orchestrated crime.
Wow.
No cyber to it, but I just thought it was an interesting thing as I was going and listening to what you had to say. Do you see anything emerging, just so I'll get to the question of this, from some combination of these things and really taking advantage of everybody and their online clicking?
Oh, there are more vulnerabilities, but they're online. Absolutely. I mean, a lot of it has to do, in the end of the day, phishing emails, where they're clicking and then they're installing some sort of malware on their device. But then, just back to checks, one of the things we recommend is using the bill pay service if you have to write a check, because the routing and the bank account number will be different. Because when we write a check, it's the same routing and bank account number. It never changes. And it is a pain. One thing to change your credit card number, but to change your bank account is a pain in the behind. Yes. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think it was about 2 years ago, my wife had an Amazon account, and a person, I think, got into her email and then got into the Amazon. So I figured out, yeah, her email needed to have password change and other things set up. And then once that was done, and then she then accessed her Amazon account, she can go ahead and use it. But then she found there was other charges on it, so she fixed that. But then they still got into it even after her email was hacked, because what they did is they called up Amazon hey, I can't get into my account. Can you go ahead and let me into it? And okay, they did. Well, they had, give me 3 things that are in your basket. Well, they had already put 3 things in from before. And so the Amazon, okay, we'll let you in. And so she had to then close that account out and started something else with other emails.
Wow. I'm sorry that happened, but that is exactly the tactics that the fraudsters are using, is once they get, the keys to the kingdom really are your email. If you can get into your email, that's when you can pretty much, do all the password resets, reset, the email's password, and it's difficult.
Well, but that also goes back to Amazon, because they then talk to the person, and then they gave them access because they could describe a few things that were in the cart at that time or at some time.
Or quality identity proofing.
Yeah, exactly. What? Yeah. Wow. Thank you for sharing.
Well, first of all, I want to say that I'm crushed because I didn't know that the brushing was there. I've never gotten a gift and I've had to scan a QR code, so I think you've showed me that I'm not loved in this
Jonathan,
world.
you are
No.
loved.
What's your address?
I know.
No, but secondly, you were talking about incident response plans, and I think an important thing for a lot of businesses to realize is that as I've studied some of these incidents that are out there, make sure you plan for being down for an extended period of time in that incident response plan, and not just think that you're going to be able to restore stuff right away, and really kind of think through your business continuity plans of an extended downtime. I think, coming from the system administration world, we designed systems that were highly redundant, highly available. When it comes to ransomware, those highly available systems replicate that ransomware to the other side. So unless you have air-gap systems, you're going to be down for an extended period of time.
Yeah.
My
Thank you.
backup plan is a resume.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Yeah, on the topic of the QR codes, do you foresee there ever being like some type of authoritative body that may be a place where those printing out or utilizing QR codes could go to have a security feature added to their QR code, such as like a validated stamp or something that can tell the end user that it's authentic and not malicious, that is harder to replicate, something like
Almost like
similar
the
to like a dollar
Twitter-
bill or
Yeah.
something that, can,
Embedded search.
yes, exactly.
I'm sure that's in the works. I'm not familiar if anybody else is. I know on the other side there's a number of companies that are coming out with ways to check. So you upload the QR code to their system, they'll analyze it, and then give you a score based off of the risk on whether or not you should. If
It's like a
spam,
hash
likelihood.
verification type
Yeah.
thing.
Right,
Okay,
right.
got it.
Yeah,
In fact, the semantic app used to do that, and then they got rid of it.
those jerks. All right, let's go to, I say that because I used to work there. I can say that, okay? All right, no, they're lovely. Okay, AI amplified attack. So, guys, AI, you hear it. AI. It's the 2 favorite letters in the whole alphabet, it seems like, for the theme of this conference and just in the tech. But we have to realize AI is also used for good. Okay, this is just a sample of the different ways. Just from the document search, one of my favorite things, long articles, just say summarize this. Give me the key bullet points. If you're really trying to ingest a lot of information at a different time, if there's white papers or things like that. Healthcare, just in general, you can use it to diagnose something maybe for a doctor would with inputting your information. So you probably have used it in a good way, and it's been beneficial to you because your productivity has enhanced. Even this is one just really tugged on my heartstrings. I love animals. He posted just the other day this account that GPT-4 saved its dog's life. There's a whole string. There's about 12 here. But essentially, went to the vet, couldn't figure out what was wrong, had blood work. They were treating him for something else, put all of that information, fed it into GPT. It said actually could be this certain disease is very rare, goes to a different vet with that diagnosis in mind. The vet says, yeah, actually, let's check for that. Ended up being that, made a full recovery. But really was on the other end of that spectrum prior to that. So, those are some good things. But as great as it is, we have to use it responsibly and ethically. Imagine if this happened to you. This happened to this user here. She was on a Zoom call. It was an interview. It was recorded, and they also had an AI transcription service also on the call. She jumped off after her part, but the rest of the team stayed on for a couple hours. What do you think she got? I had a VC firm that had a Zoom meeting with. They used Otter AI to record the call, and after the meeting, it automatically emailed me the transcript, including hours of their private conversations afterward, and discussed intimate, confidential details about their business. This is the sort of things we have to be aware of. Use it for good. Otter AI, I'm telling you, it saved me on a couple action items from business. It's great, but you have to use it responsibly and, turn off of that when you start talking confidential or crap about people. You don't want that either, okay? All right, think about this. AI in its present form is the weakest it'll ever be. And what I mean by this is that every day it just gets better and better. We're training it better. There's different ways to approach it. And today's AI, tomorrow's is probably going to be a little bit better. And by better, I mean whatever you want it to mean for whatever you're doing. So think about those scams we covered. The phishing, the smishing, the I never say this right, QR phishing. Let's just say that, otherwise I say a really bad word. I'm not going to say that. Spear phishing, those sort of things. AI now can assist you. Maybe English is not your first language. Maybe you want to really tailor a message to somebody, and using AI, I can do that. Me, I may not have the skill set of this big-time hacker, but now with AI tools, I'm a big-time hacker. So these are the sort of things that it is just so much more difficult for a victim to detect, because imagine being 75 years old, getting an email from your bank, whereas before we used to say, watch out for misspellings, watch out for weird punctuation. Cool, that might happen now, but that happens in real life. But now they're perfect emails. They look like they're coming from the bank branch that you deal with. So that's where it's definitely amplified. And then deep fake images and videos. So all you need for a lot of these apps are 10 seconds. 10 seconds of somebody's voice. I don't know what the consent is for Iowa. Arizona is a one-party consent state. Is that what Iowa is too? So I can record the conversations I'm having all day long. Maybe I'm taking notes, but maybe I'm a fraudster, and I'm going to use something to duplicate that. Did you guys see this? Jordan Peele? Did you guys see this? If you haven't, look it up. Basically what he's doing is just showing you how easy it is to use AI. And yeah, there's glitches. And this is a whole nother training on really what to look for on images, voice, and videos. But this is just wild. It looks like he's saying these things. And you've probably seen the sports ones where they're at a press conference and they're like, yeah, we had Bronny on our team because he's a little bitch, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, no, the coach didn't say that, pardon my language. That was AI. I'm just giving you an example. But anyway, it's just imagine then your CEO getting a video like that, or your CEO doing something like that, or somebody within your organization. It can just be easily done. So I want to do something. So if you guys are teaching on this in your organization, or if you want to play around with this, I thought this was really cool. So Northwestern did this, AI generated or real. So I am going to go to this website, and essentially it's, can you spot the deep fake? It says AI generated or real. So what do you guys think? What? You real? Okay. So it says real, and then about how sure are you that this is real? Fairly confident or really confident? Completely confident. Okay, you're completely confident. You can also say why. And then it's going to say, yes, this is the real image. All right. Next one. Real or fake? Fake. Okay, we'll say fake. And then we're slightly confident. It's real. This image is real. Okay, next. This image. Real or fake? Yeah, I know. All the fingers are there. And all the toes are there. The writing is there. Those are things that we look out for. All the toes are there. Okay, so let's the imprint. So what do we think? You're gonna say fake? All right, we'll say we're fairly confident it's a real image. All right, let's get a synthetic one. Okay, this one, Dr. King. Is this real or fake? Just call it real. Okay? Submit. It's a real image. We're doing a lot of real ones today. I know, but they are, but then it makes you, yes, okay, real or fake? It looks real, so let's say it's real. Oh, I'm fairly confident it's real. Okay, it is real. Well, I promise you. Okay, this one? Let's just call it fake. Why not? And I'm slightly confident. It is a synthetic image. Do you see how valuable this could be in an organization, educating people? One, it might not seem, I mean, it just makes you stop and think. If anything, yeah, maybe you failed miserably on this test, okay? But at least you understand that these images that look real, this image looks real, but it's not, you know? And so I'll pull this up if you guys want to. It's Detect Fakes from Northwestern University. I sure do. It's, no, I don't. So you can see, I thought that was a really, really cool tool. Let me know here. By the way, this image is real, if you're wondering. This brings us to virtual kidnapping. We talk about images, we talk about videos. You know, they're very glitchy. Usually the fingers haven't been worked out. Words are not the same words. But virtual kidnapping is pretty scary. So I am doing, I do a lot of cyber safety type talks, especially in October. It's Cybersecurity Awareness Month. So I'm doing for an organization the end of the month. I had an onboarding, a call with them last week. He is the head of IT for their entire organization and tells me that even though he deals with this stuff every day, that previous week he had gotten a call that said his daughter was in danger. She works nights as a nurse, had to really think, oh my gosh, went up. And it's so easy to say, hang up, say, your passcode. But he had to remember that. At first he was panicked, but then he said, wait a minute. He hung up, he called his daughter, she was fine. But even, the director of IT of a very large company is not immune to that. So they've cost Americans billions, paying the ransom, reacting, doing whatever they want. So it's very important to have a family code, a passcode, a phrase. And I mentioned I was staying with my aunt and uncle. They now have a passcode. And she's like, oh, we came up with our passcode. And I said, don't tell me. Don't. She's like, no, I'm not going to tell you. But they have it. And so they did that with their daughter and their two grandkids as well. They have a passcode. And it's not something that you text. Hey, mom and dad, our passcode is, I love sheep. I mean, I don't know, but it's not, no, you need to say it in person. FTC puts out warnings all the time. There's different news organizations putting out news all the time. So this was interesting. So this was just last week. Today my dad got a phone call. No parent wants to get, he said the scammer said that he was in a serious car accident, arrested for a DUI, and needed $30,000 of worth of bail. It wasn't him. Here's the kicker, follow up to that. I'm not sure if it was a coincidence that it just happened days after my voice went up on television. 15 seconds of me talking, more than enough to get a decent AI clone. How are they doing that? What are they using? How? This is one. I've done this before. I've taken a recording of me and my colleague on a call. I've used this and made him say it wasn't anything crazy, but just to show the fact that, so I think this is a very valuable, please, asterisk, not for fraud, but for educational purposes to your employee base, to your people, to say, look, I've just now impersonated the CEO. Look at this. All I needed was 15 seconds of him talking, 10 seconds of him talking, and now you guys all have a voicemail from him telling, mandatory, bring me donuts. I don't know, whatever the thing is. And then there's the chatbot attacks. So the chatbot attacks are definitely rising. They're using training AI chatbots for phishing, malware attacks, just to do it automatically, as well as automated password attacks. We're seeing the automated password attacks. And then they're scanning all your socials, everything online about you, because the reality is, and yes, my shirt says, no, my dog's name is not my password, But the reality is a lot of people's jobs' names are their passwords, right? So, and then let me just go with some best practices. So we all know, we should know, I should say, shouldn't generalize, but kind of the good, better, and best practices when connecting online. Wi-Fi, public Wi-Fi, you really gotta treat it like somebody's looking over your back. I'm online right now via my hotspot. So I'm not connected to this conference Wi-Fi, I'm on my hotspot. And then really the best would be that virtual private network if you have access to that. There's some options there. It's not an all-inclusive list. Then there's the auto-connect functions. This is the whole convenience versus security. I'm gonna automatically find open Wi-Fi and I'm gonna connect you because you know what? You need to be connected. No. Because what if it's a fake Wi-Fi access point? We don't want that. So you turn that off from your devices. Same with Bluetooth. Using a password manager helps. That way we're not having to think of a million different passwords. You remember that one? And you have the password manager. MFA, we talk about MFA all the time, but this is something, if you have it on every device, talk to, and your organization may have it on their device. Do they have it personally on other devices? Do your friends and family have it on their accounts? And the way I like to approach it is get it on your email, get it on your bank accounts, the accounts you use all the time, and then start going through. When you use Amazon, then enable it. Then you use Target, enable it. Otherwise, it's so overwhelming to do it all at once. We're running out of time, so I just want to talk about, I'm going to show you my case study. This is my neighbor, okay? This is about sharing photos, the fact that your location is generally in your photo, so just be mindful of that. You can turn it off. This is me presenting at a conference. If I were to text that photo, it did notify me that you are sharing your location data, which is all well and good because I was at a conference center in the middle of Phoenix. That's fine. But what if I was at my house and I'm texting somebody about the couch I'm selling? I should say on app, on Nextdoor, on Facebook Marketplace, but I've gone off app against their recommendation. And now I'm sending details of my house. Although they are picking up the couch, maybe it doesn't matter. But anyway, you get it. All right, oh, and it includes AirDrop. You guys hear about this? This is funny. This is an AirDrop. When people have it on to everyone, they do these AirDrop bombs where they're mostly inappropriate photos. I mean, I'm okay if I got this photo, but don't tell my husband. Or do, who cares? We're married for 14 years. All right, so you can turn that to contacts only or no one. So oversharing, this is my whole point. So when we go back to school, what do? My kid goes to this school, and this is their favorite color, and this is their teacher. So it's just really as parents, as people who might know parents, just give them the information about having a private profile, not necessarily just sharing everything. So this is, oh, and then the signs. Gotta love this. This is in Des Moines. I went to go visit my friend right before this presentation. I went to her house. I'm driving. I stop in the middle of the road, and I'm like, I need that for my presentation because Riley is invited in tennis club, and she's in dance, and she's great. So, on these shirts, don't get me started on these shirts, okay? They're really cute, guys, but you might be giving out too much information. Okay, you would wear those shirts. What do you do? Yeah, okay, but that's okay. Here's the case study I wanted to say. So this is on Nextdoor app. Nextdoor app is you guys heard of Nextdoor? Cool, you help your neighbors out? Great. So Earl, not one of my neighbors, but in my neighborhood, says traffic is a nightmare. Cool. Well, then he starts putting these posts on. This was posted at 4:31, 4:26, and 4:15. I now know what time Earl gets home. If only I knew where he was coming from. Oh, if only he posted that up in Scottsdale. Okay, well, I don't know his exact address. Oh, wait, he posted that he has free lemons, and he has his phone number. Cool. Well, thanks, Earl. I've got that now on. And Earl, you also gave 2 thumbs up to Arizona Financial Credit Union and Papa Murphy's Pizza. What can I do with this information? I can pretend like I'm to both of those organizations. But then, you guys, you're going to love this one. OSINT. You guys probably heard the term, open source intelligence. Well, I guess I'm just so popular all over the world. People are trying to hack into my information. Cool, now you also post the screenshots. One, I wonder why, Earl, you're a big target. And then you post not only the IP address, but your email. So I've got your address when you leave your house, when you get back from your house. I've got your phone number, your email address, and the places that you like. And this is only a tip of the iceberg into his profile. So what does this say? Yes, I know you want to help your neighbors. You are a swell individual. But think about the information that we're sharing, right? So I have a number of tips of kind of best practices on who to report it to. We're a little out of time, so I'll just make sure those will be uploaded to the conference website, so you'll get those. Okay. Oh,
I'm
beautiful.
sick, so I have no transition to do.
Oh, okay. Well, what questions do you guys
to go
have?
somewhere, maybe.
Yeah. Any questions?
Gotta ask questions, you want that code.
I know we've got 3 questions so far.
All righty.
Cool. Well, I'll
Thank
leave
our
it at this.
speaker, please.
If you are reporting fraud, the one website I recommend is the USA.gov, and it's the Where to Support Scams. I used to say the FTC, I used to say IC3.gov, and those are still true. But this website, USA.gov, will actually learn about your scam or learn about your fraud, and then direct you to the correct resource, which is usually FTC and IC3.gov or local law enforcement. So I really love how holistic it is, because not everybody's scam or identity theft issue or fraud is not the same, and you don't report it the same. So you want to go to the place that's going to help you the most. It directs you there. So USA.gov is a really helpful website. Great. Well, thank you so much.